Well, not only to fight this case, but women who are found to have lied about allegations like these need to go to jail. It has to be a jailable offense, because this is why other women are not believed and why I say don't believe all women. Hi, I'm Nat.
And I'm Guy.
And today we're talking about, well, it seems like a guy from the UFC is being accused of some inappropriate
Not just a guy,
behavior.
Alex Pereira, multiple weight division UFC champion.
He's being accused of inappropriate conduct by an OnlyFans model. So
Well,
I believe she's released a few videos of the accusations, and
Alex Pereira needs to be thanking her lucky stars. This woman is so stupid. She is releasing a bunch of videos to try to get a quick payoff, but there's so many holes in her story. This ship is sinking faster than the Titanic.
yeah, well, this is usually what happens with all of these accusations. It's women who decide to make up a story for usually monetary purposes, but because we've said and told everybody, believe all women anytime, no matter what, even though we are infallible beings and we do lie quite a bit, well, now we have to believe them and pay them off or do whatever we need to do.
She should have went to a lawyer. A lawyer would have got her to keep her mouth shut, and her story is probably factually correct, but the emotional state and the way she's trying to frame things make it look highly consensual to me.
Well, the story which she released on TikTok, not with a lawyer or via a public statement, but on her TikTok, she, I think, has the timeline right, as you say, but the details are murky, everything else is murky.
Why don't we take a look at the video?
Yeah, let's see what she said.
It's a three-part video, so we'll take a look at the first part here, and then we'll come back with a little bit of commentary.
Okay, this is like my 40th time trying to make this video, so I'm going to try to do it again without crying. Alex Pereira's assistant, translator, I don't know who he is to him. His name is Mel. My friend followed him on Instagram over 2 months ago. He DM'd her after she follows him, asks her questions like how long she had been doing kickboxing for, how she got into it, stuff like that. He asks her if she's going to the fight in New Jersey that we went to. I don't know what number it was. I'm not into it like that, like she is. This was my first time ever meeting Alex or knowing who he was. I'm not a huge UFC fan. I just got into it because my friend was into it. Alex's assistant, translator, best friend, whoever he was, his name is Mel, asks my friend if she wants to meet up with him in New Jersey when she goes to the fight. He also says that Alex is wondering if she has a friend for him. I know it sounds stupid and unbelievable because I couldn't believe it myself. Why is this guy asking a 20-year-old girl to put him on with one of her friends when he's a 30-year-old, however, father who should be able to just, like, talk to a woman his age at the fight? It was planned out on purpose because he does this all the time. My friend sends Mel, the assistant and the translator, whoever he was, he never really gave us an explanation who he was. She sends him my Instagram. Mel shows Alex my Instagram. Apparently, the only thing he said was chama. I'll try and find the text proof where my friend was telling me this, which is disgusting now that I know what his intent was. We go to New Jersey. Mel hits up my friend, invites us both to a private training at a gym called Cruise MMA, where Alex is training. We're the only women in there except for this older woman who's married to one of the people that's also sparring. I'm hoping I can find security footage. My friend spars with him. I videotape the whole time, and I'm sitting down watching. I can post the video that I took also, where my friend is sparring with him. Him and Mel take me and my friend outside of the gym that we were in.
Okay, so, well, she's saying that he's 37 and she's 20. Like, whatever. He's a.
Well, her friend is 20. I think she says she's 22 or something, but the age gap is so weird.
Well, the reason the 20-year-old thing even comes into play, it's not because he's so disgusting and she's 20 years old and he's 37, like she's trying to portray it, but because they gave him alcohol at one point. So this is a point of contention that really is going to go in her favor if they ever do go to court. But
well, I mean, that comes later in her stories.
Yeah.
But initially, I mean, I don't know how UFC people work, how UFC guys do things, but even from the get-go, that the assistant or friend or whoever it was asked them to go to whatever number fight it was because her friend has some kickboxing or something on her Instagram. I mean, how did these guys find these two ladies? Why were they inviting them?
They found him on the DM, so it was
Yeah.
it was she.
But that's common.
Let's not act like you're confused and like we don't believe her story. Her story actually makes a lot of sense so far. And I'm not gonna act like it doesn't. It's actually in the later stages of her story where I find the whole thing to fall apart.
But could it be that they were seeking them out instead of the guys seeking the girls? Maybe the girls, were DMing them and saying like, "Oh, we'd love to train with you. Look, we have an OnlyFans page.
Okay,
oh, we're
well,
so
why don't we continue to watch this, because I think you're trying to frame it much in a different way than she's trying to frame it, and let's just listen to her story.
After the training session, he comes on to me, goes behind me, looks at my ass, and approves to his translator, which is also disgusting now that I know what his intent was, like I was cattle or something. Mind you, this man doesn't speak any English. I don't know what he's saying the entire time. His translator is translating for me.
Okay, well, right here, where she says she was felt like cattle and he was admiring her ass, well, that's a red flag. Walk away at that point. And you're going to see later in her story that she goes back and back and back to the hotel. If she didn't like it and it made her feel uncomfortable, she should have never kept going with the situation. And this is a consistent part of her story. She doesn't like what's happening, yet she goes to the next place. And this is even after she leaves them. She comes back.
Well, I have 2 points on this, what she just said. Number one is, as a Mexican, someone from Latin America, we all know that Brazilian guys are kind of touchy-feely, and it can come off as very inappropriate for an audience that's not used to it. So, okay, sure, that probably did happen. But number two, the way she's framing it, oh, like I'm cattle, like I'm... Girl, you got an OnlyFans. Like, come on. It's not like she doesn't know what's going on. It's not like she doesn't like people looking at her. Like,
okay,
it might be different when it's in person, but still.
Let's get back into this.
Everything he's saying and everything I'm saying. He tries to kiss me outside of Crew's MMA gym. I grab his face and I push him away. I will try to find security footage from a building around it if possible. We leave the training. They then invite us to like a meeting or like something that was outside where they were like signing stuff, I guess. I don't know. But we turned it down because it was outside and it was super hot and we had already done our makeup and gotten ready for the UFC fight that night. So they then invite us to dinner before the UFC fight. We were going to go out, according to them, but he sends us an address and our Uber takes us to a very nice hotel where Alex is staying, and a bunch of, I guess, UFC fighters are also there. His assistant and translator, Mel, brings us into this fancy hotel. I can find security footage proof of this also, and it's just a bunch of, like, UFC people sitting in a circle, and Alex looks up at us, looks angry as fuck, and tells his assistant Mel to take us out of the hotel, and everyone is looking at us like, who are these girls, why are they here? I don't know either. I'm just, like, there because they asked us to, and, like, I didn't realize they were bad people. He makes us leave the hotel, and he brings us to the Courtyard Marriott across the street from it. They have 2 hotel rooms that they have already bought for that night, which is disgusting. It was all planned out. They take us to the Courtyard Marriott across the street from the actual hotel that Alex is staying at. We go to the restaurant in the like lobby of the Courtyard Marriott. I can find security footage proof of this also. They buy us a flatbread pizza, and then they ask, well, Mel is asking all of this. Alex doesn't speak any English, he's just translating. Mel asks us how old we are. I said, I'm 21. My friend says that she's 20 years old, not old enough to drink alcohol. So he talks to Alex, tells him how old we say we are, and then they buy us I think, 2 glasses of wine. So, mind you, they're buying alcohol for a 20-year-old girl that is not old enough to drink alcohol, and this is on security footage. Didn't make me sign an NDA before he did any of this. Like, just did it because he does this all the time, probably. It was so routine and planned out.
Okay, she's trying to say he does this all the time, and the fact that they did buy drinks for an underage girl is not going to look good in court. Now, in most countries, you don't have to be 21 to drink, but in the United States, you do.
Yes, in Brazil, I believe you have to be 18. That's the age of majority in most countries for drinking. So let's say that his argument could be, oh, I didn't know. Oh, we didn't know that that was a rule in the States. Sure. But why did they take it? Why did they drink it? Why did they accept their offering?
Well, let's get back into it.
They're giving us drinks. Alex won't get off of me. I'm not into it because I don't know this man. I don't like being touched if I am not, like, if I don't know you and I'm not comfortable with you. Even if you're my family member, I just don't like being touched. I'm starting to get tipsy and I feel sick because I don't do well when I drink. But I'm trying to calm my nerves. He won't get off of me. He keeps asking me to go to the bathroom with him, or he's asking Mel, and Mel is telling me this, so I guess this is how he gets away with it, because he didn't technically, well, no, because he did it. He just technically didn't say any of it to my face. He said it through his translator, and his translator said it to my face, but his translator wasn't the one who assaulted me. He's telling his translator to ask me to go to the bathroom with him. I'm telling him no because I don't do that. I get uncomfortable and nervous, and as much as you guys think that I'm this, like, whore, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on TikTok. As much as you guys think these things about me just because of the line of work that I do, I just do what I have to do to make ends meet. That has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, well, this is really where she tries to play up the victim, but it's all over YouTube, her OnlyFans page, and
it's all over Twitter as well. It's everywhere.
She is an absolute whore. And she is saying jackpot when she got Alex Pereira, because I think she was setting this thing up the entire time.
Yes,
and now
that's why I said initially maybe they were the ones messaging.
And I think she's the one trying to sell it to the general public. But if she was smart and not just a whore, she would have went to a lawyer, not to Twitter.
And again, that just sounds more like a confession. Like, I'm not this kind of whore that you guys... I mean...
Well, let's get back into this.
But, hold on. There's another point in this little section even. Yes, she starts crying and but she's mentioning drinking. And quickly, on the quick Google search I did, doesn't Pereira not drink? He's famously sober.
Well,
and this was right before a fight, and you would know this. Can you drink before a fight?
I'm just going to say this. We'll get into Alex Pereira's story later, and alcohol is a big part of this story, but I just want to keep watching the video so our commentary doesn't overrun it.
I don't put out the first time meeting somebody because I have a lot of trauma and I get nervous and scared.
I'm sorry, I have to say, she might not put out the first time she meets somebody, but before she meets somebody, she's showing them all of her goods on OnlyFans. So
she's selling it.
I will try to find security footage. Legally, they have to be able to pull this up, right? Like, Alex can't, like, somehow, like, get it erased. That would literally not be fair. I'm gonna try my hardest to find the security footage. If it actually ends up, like, going to court or, like, something happens. I don't know what I was expecting. I just posted it because I just wanted to talk about it.
If she's going to get the security footage, it needed to happen through a lawyer, and that's why I keep saying she should have went to a lawyer.
Or through a police investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe they were in New Jersey. Why didn't she go to the New Jersey police? They're the ones that can immediately pull that footage, because what happens a lot is the footage gets lost.
Hold on. It doesn't matter if it was like... her story is probably going to match with the security footage, but the security footage shows nothing other than she went up to the room consensually.
I go to the bathroom with my friend after Alex has been coming on to me the whole night, and I feel sick and uncomfortable and like I'm about to throw up. I tell her in the bathroom, at no point during this whole entire visit with these people are you to leave me, because I'm not comfortable. We agree that we won't leave each other at any point, because Mel, the assistant and the translator, is also hitting on my friend, who's 20 years old. I don't know how old this man was. I'm trying to tell Alex's assistant to tell Alex that I don't put out like that after I meet someone for the very first time, and that I need him to get to know me and to work for it. I, quote, said to his translator, trying not to be a prude and annoying, but I told him, I was like, how do I say you have to work for it?
Okay, so she's saying, I'm trying not to be a prude, I'm trying not to be annoying, but to tell him that I don't put out on the first date. Girl, just leave if you're so uncomfortable. You're telling your friend not to leave you throughout the whole night, but at the same time, if you're so uncomfortable and you don't want to do this, why don't you leave? You're in a public
They've
place.
already left once. They were at the gym. They left. Now they're meeting at the hotel, and you're going to see they're going to leave again, and then they're going to go back and meet him for a third time.
Yes.
There was 3 opportunities where you said he's taking advantage of you.
You feel weirded out, it's creepy.
But you kept going back, and you want to make this sound like some domestic violence abuser that, oh, you keep going back to him, but you had no relationship previous to this, so it should have been easy to walk away.
His assistant laughs, tells Alex, and Alex tells his assistant to tell us that he really likes us and he's going to take us on a trip to the Dominican Republic to get to know us better, because I guess he's trying to, like, convince me that he's not, you know, just trying to take advantage of me. So I'm like, okay, like, that's great. I don't have a passport. Like, can you, like, let me know, like, when this is happening so I can, like, pack and, like, get ready for it? Like, I mean, I make my own money and I don't need this man's money. It's not me trying to get his money. I literally could not care less if I don't get anything out of this except for to find my own voice again. I just wanted to talk about my story. I was not expecting his fans to be as bad as he is, but I guess I should have known. We have to split up because it's time to go to the UFC fight. His translator and Alex go on their own. Me and my friend take an Uber. It goes terribly. The fight ends. Afterwards, his assistant Mel sends an Uber to our location after the UFC fight and brings us back to the courtyard Marriott where we were going to go out. We were going to go there, and they were going to drive us, and they were talking about going to, I don't know, they were talking about going to strip clubs, and they were...
Okay, so as we can see now, she's left for the second time, and now she's coming back after the fight. So she's had more than enough opportunities. Fool me once, you know, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Other way around. But I mean, they could have left at any point. Yes, she's essentially trying to cry, but she can't. But at the same time, she's saying, oh, I don't need your money. This is not why I'm doing it. But now that the story has come out, it seems like she's made
a lot of money on OnlyFans.
$125,000 off of OnlyFans right after her whole sob story came out.
She's already said cha-ching with OnlyFans, and she's going to get another payout either from the UFC or Alex Pereira. I really hope Pereira and the UFC stand their ground and they actually pay good lawyers to fight this case and make her look like a fool rather than give an easy payout, because that just gives the wrong message to other women.
Well, not only to fight this case, but women who are found to have lied about allegations like these need to go to jail. It has to be a jailable offense, because this is why other women are not believed and why I say don't believe all women.
Just to be clear also, that picture that I posted where everyone is saying that it looks like I'm a fan that asked him to take a picture with me, I did not ask for that picture. I asked for no pictures. I didn't know who this man was. My friend asked for pictures with him after asking me to record her sparring with him, and then he asked on everyone that I know and love's life. He asked for pictures with me. I did not ask for those pictures. He asked his assistant to ask my friend after he asked to take the pictures. He asked his assistant to ask my friend to have me send the pictures to her, and then she sends it to my assistant because he wanted the pictures, because it was probably a trophy for him. I did not ask for those pictures. That's besides the point, but...
Okay, well, let's talk about this picture real quick. She's saying it was a trophy picture. It looked like a UFC fan picture. I've seen a lot of UFC fan pictures, and it looks like he looked uncomfortable, and she was thinking ahead, I want evidence.
Yes, and I mean, she's saying that he asked her to take that picture, that her friend went up to him and she wanted to take a picture with him, but, herself, no. Alex Pereira was the one asking me for a picture because I'm so hot and important. Come on.
This is just ridiculous.
Basically, his assistant sends us an Uber to where we are after the UFC fight and brings us back to the Courtyard Marriott, where we were supposed to be waiting for Alex to get back from an interview, I think he said, and then we were going to go out. He was talking about going to strip clubs and like having a fun night while we were all in New Jersey, New York for the weekend. We wait for like 2 hours for Alex to come while his friend is on the phone talking about like kids with cancer and big money transfers and things that had to do with Alex. And we were like, hey, it's getting kind of late. Like, is Alex coming? Like, what's the plan? Should we just go back home? Because we're kind of tired. Like, if we're going to have plans, can we, like, get on with it? Because it's already getting very late. At this point, I think it was, like, 2 or 3 in the morning. Eventually, Alex comes to the hotel room after the interview that he was at, and he says that he doesn't want to go out. He wants to enjoy the time that he has with the people he's with. Some bullshit like that. And then he takes off his clothes, gets into bed, orders food, and then is trying to get me to get into bed with him. My friend and me and the translator are all sitting on the couch, and he's just sitting in bed staring at me and telling his translator to tell me things and trying to convince me to get into bed with him. I eventually get into bed with him because I was naive, I guess. I didn't think that anything was going to happen. My friend was there with me. I had told her not to leave me at any point. She had told me not to leave her with the assistant at any point. I thought that we were going to be fine. I thought I was going to be able to maybe try and get myself comfortable by getting into bed with him and cuddling with him if there was people in the room. I just have problems of my own. I have trauma. This is not the first time that this has happened to me. I was just naive, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I got into bed with him.
I eventually get into bed with him.
Hold on.
He's naked.
Hold on. She said that they were waiting for him at the hotel for 2 hours. A hotel which they can go in and out free of, like, they can freely go in and out. They're not being held hostage. They're not being...
But she already felt uncomfortable, so
trafficked.
she just felt like she had to stay.
But she's with a friend, and the guy's not there. The guy she's so scared of is not there.
She's had multiple opportunities to leave. She said he's treated her like a piece of meat. She's completely uncomfortable yet. Now she's in the room. He's hopped into bed naked, yet she's just gonna get right into bed with this guy that made her feel like a piece of meat and that she's scared of.
And she's already also said that she has a lot of trauma. And this is a very special word that women use whenever they want to excuse any behavior that they do. They use the word trauma. They say, I have so much trauma, I didn't want to do it, but F your trauma, work on it, and don't use it as an excuse.
My friend was there. So was the assistant. I thought I was going to be fine.
She said she doesn't know why she got into bed with him. Could it possibly be because she just thinks she won the allegation lottery here? Very possibly.
And it also seems like she is the one that's advancing it. He got into bed. He's the one that got naked, got into bed, didn't really want to do anything with anybody, and then she's there with him in bed because she felt like she had to do it.
He starts touching me down there repeatedly. I keep pushing him off. I keep pushing his hand off. I keep bringing his hand back up to like my waist so that we can just like cuddle, because I'm comfortable with cuddling. I'm not comfortable with putting out with somebody that I don't know. I just met literally for the first time. He's huge, scary, doesn't speak any of my language, and I wasn't comfortable putting out with him because that's just not what I do. He keeps touching me. I keep pushing him off. Eventually, me and my friend say that we're very tired and we would like to go to sleep. They turn all the lights off. My friend and the assistant get into bed. It's a queen-size bed that they get into. I'm in a queen-size bed right next to it with Alex. Me and my friend are on the inside of the bed looking at each other under the blankets. He keeps pulling the blanket over me, keeps trying to touch me. I feel suffocated. I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. I've pushed him off so many times at this point, and he's not taking the hint, and these men are clearly not caring about my comfortability. Mind you, again, I don't know what I was thinking. I was naive, I guess. I guess you could say I asked for it by getting into bed with him. I didn't know that this was going to happen. I'm pushing him off of me. He won't get off. He eventually pulls my underwear and my pants down to around like halfway on my thighs, and I push him off again. He gets out of bed. He starts screaming and putting his socks and his clothes on. I'm terrified because I don't know what's happening. My pants are around my legs after I told him no and pushed him off, and he's screaming in another language. Me and my friend are looking at each other, hiding under the blankets, like about to start bawling our eyes out. And he starts telling his translator that he doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him and my friend, and that he wants them to leave. His translator and my friend leave the hotel room. His translator and my friend leave the hotel room. He immediately starts trying to take my clothes off. He starts trying to take my socks off. I try to tell him no, because I have blisters on my feet from walking around New York in heels for like 10 hours the night before, and I had band-aids on my blisters, and they were going to get ripped off with my socks.
Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. He had the translator and her friend leave the room, which they promised they wouldn't, yet she's just going to stay. And then he's going to take off her shoes, and she's telling him no because she has blisters. How about, no, I don't want to have sex with you. No, stop. Not, no, I have blisters. It's going to hurt my feet.
And if you're already like so uncomfortable and crying and he's screaming and whatever, what is he saying? Because you can't understand the language. Maybe he's telling the assistant, take her too. I don't want her in my room. We have no idea. She has no idea what he was saying.
I think,
but she's using the context.
I think it was made clear that they were going to have sex at this point.
But it was also made clear by her, by getting into bed, by staying, by not telling her friend, hey, let's leave because this is getting uncomfortable and it's getting dangerous. Let's just go. Let's go talk to the hotel concierge. Let's go call the police. Let's go do anything else but get into bed with this guy. Well, they've had multiple times to leave.
Let's hear the rest of her story here.
I tried to explain to him, don't take my socks off, please. He didn't understand that. So at that point, I'm like, okay, fuck. I'm in a room with a huge man that doesn't speak English. He's not understanding what I'm saying. He doesn't give a fuck because I've pushed him off so many times, and he doesn't care. And he got up and screamed and scared me into staying in the room with him and making his assistant and my friend leave the room. At this point, I know what's happening. I've been through this before. I know that it's just easiest if I just shut my mouth, do what I have to, put on whatever performance that I have to make it end. He puts me on top of him so that I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to say on TikTok. He puts me on top of him so that we are... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he puts me on top of him so that we're 69ing. I think that it's just going to be, normal. He just pressured me into having sex, and he scared me into having sex with him. It's whatever. It's nothing that hasn't happened to me before. I'll just, keep it inside like I usually do and just live with it. He starts using multiple of his fingers, forcefully pushing them into my... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. Everybody's asking for an explanation, so here it is. This is literally just the truth. It's disgusting and embarrassing, and I've tried to make this video so many times, and I keep crying, and I just feel disgusting and humiliated and violated, and I know people are going to laugh at me, and people are going to say that I deserved it and think that it's funny what I'm about to say. You can laugh, it's whatever, and I just thought that, this would help me heal by talking about it. He's basically fisting my... at this point. It hurts really bad, and I'm blacking out and disassociating and, just trying not to be there while it's happening. Before his assistant had left the room, I had told him to please tell Alex that I was very nervous. I don't put out on the first time meeting somebody like that. Please emphasize to Alex that I'm very nervous. I haven't had sex with a lot of people. I have a lot of sexual trauma. I freeze up in the moment, and I am not able to have sex with people like that when I first meet them, and I told his translator to tell him that.
Before he left the room, when you were scared and he was yelling in Brazilian, you made it very clear she's not putting out. That was the perfect opportunity to leave.
To tell him, I'm leaving.
For the fourth time, when she's already left 3 times and had to come back to him. This story, I really hope they don't give her a payout. She's already cashed in on OnlyFans. Don't let her cash in again.
Yeah.
He picks me up from off of on top of him, asks me, the only time he spoke English this entire time that I was with him was to ask me to help him put it in. I tried to put it in, but I was nervous, so I couldn't. So he did it, and he put it in my, and then he assaulted me. Afterwards, he got up, he took a shower, I laid in bed, just kind of like disassociated, not even really like realizing what had just happened. I'm scared as fuck, and I don't know if I can use the shower, and I'm scared to ask him. So I just go to the bathroom and I sit on the toilet for a few minutes while I literally bleed. I come back to bed after going to the bathroom. He kisses me on the forehead and he spoons me to sleep. His translator and my friend came in the next morning, woke us up, I get dressed, they get us an Uber. We go back to our hotel, pack up our stuff.
Whoa. So after all this happened,
All this traumatic
you
experience.
stayed the night with them and met with your friend and the translator the next morning, and they got you an Uber and sent you on your way.
Yeah, you didn't run out the minute it ended. You didn't go find a policeman, go find anybody to tell them that this happened, get a test.
What she found is millions of people on TikTok to sell this story to so she can get a payout is what happened.
And if she was being tied down, coerced, treated badly, beaten, or if just the guy had kept going and going and going, but she had tried to leave the room, they had stopped her, they had tied her down. I mean, a more...
Okay, let's finish this up and then we'll give her final commentary here.
Sure.
And that's it. That's what happened. I don't really know what else to say, and I don't really, like, expect everybody to believe me. I knew that nobody was gonna believe me just based off of that TikTok that I posted. I guess I just wasn't expecting as many threatening comments.
Okay, so that's it. That's the story.
Yes.
And like she said, I didn't think anybody was going to believe her. Yeah, nobody should believe this story. It's absolutely, it gives women a bad name, and you want to believe women, but
Yes.
this is the reason you can't believe all women.
Exactly. I don't know who, because number one, we could go down the route that she is naive and she doesn't know how to say no, and but at the same time, we could go down the route of she wants a payout, and that was way more likely because she has an OnlyFans. It's not like she's this Christian Mormon girl that has no idea what's happening to her. Oh, a man is looking at her behind. I have no idea what that means, but I mean, I want to be nice and friendly. No, you clearly know what's going on because you do it on basically daily on your OnlyFans page. So don't pretend like you are so scared and naive about sex.
Well,
like,
come
on.
Honestly, if she would have just kept her mouth shut, went directly to a lawyer, got the security footage, had the picture with Alex Pereira, I think it would have been a nice, clean payout. But she opened her mouth, told the story. Now, I just pray to God they don't pay her out because this bitch is lying.
And she basically I think she couldn't wait. I think it was such a good story, she thought, and such a good plan that when people make these plans, especially criminals, they can't help it but make mistakes and want to get ahead of themselves because they're so proud of themselves.
She should have went to Robert Barnes, got herself a good attorney.
Not Robert Barnes, but I mean, and again, I want to reiterate, this is not to say we should not believe women. It's that women that lie about things like these, the women that lie about and make such grand allegations should go to jail, should be investigated, should not be believed. But I guess for now, we'll see you soon. Please remember to like and subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel again. But for now, we'll see you soon.
Adios.